Hey everybody, I'm writer and director Len Kabasinski of Killer Wolf Films, welcoming you to a brand new Fist of the Filmmaker podcast. Got some new stuff to talk about today. For those that are following me on Twitter, I'll answer some questions there kind of thing, or if they come at me, hopefully from Patreon. It is the best way to support my works. Patreon.com/KillerWolfFilms. All my movies are on there. Podcasts, guest spots on different shows, like the Salty Nerd podcast, or my Forgotten Movie Den episodes, where I kind of highlight some more obscure movies, usually that I'm trying to bring to your attention. Usually with my man Joe from Ozone Late Night joins me on those. So if you haven't check them out, check them out. Hopefully you check them out on Patreon. It is on my YouTube channel. At the real Len Kabasinski. So at the real Len K, if you will, is my YouTube channel. So I got canceled before by YouTube, so that channel's gone. So if people are looking for he's real interactive with Red Letter Media, fans and posters and things like that. Well, yeah, it was, and then got canceled. So it's my first time I've been canceled. Maybe not the last, right? So all those kinds of comments and interactions kind of disappeared. But I'm back at the real NK YouTube channel there. So hopefully, like I said, patreon.com/KillerWolfFilms. It's only $2 to sign up. Support my works best by joining that. So I appreciate it. So to get into things, I'm in process, I guess. We're in the pre-production script writing phase. We have just about a completed outline for a new picture that I plan on doing, hopefully, if all things break right, this coming summertime then. It is called Fear the Crimson Mask. Fear the Crimson Mask will be a slasher picture, kind of my first one of those, right? I don't think I've done a slasher film yet, right? I mean, is Blood Prism a slasher movie? I mean, maybe, I guess. Anyways, Fear the Crimson Mask will be a slasher film set in the world of professional wrestling. So it should be a fun time. We got through, like I said, an outline of it that's pretty descriptive and, from front to finish. So what happens when, throughout the feature is kind of done. Now we're getting into the actual writing the script, writing the dialogue, writing the scenes out and stuff. So I've had a lot of interaction, actors, actresses, stuff like that. Guys that want to come in on a producing level. Hey, I've got this location or that location. That is always a nice problem to have because locations are generally a pain in the ass. That's why everybody films in the woods for micro-budget independent cinema, right? So, it's looking like I would shoot this on location right now anyways. It's early, but I've had some interactions with some guys out in northern Michigan towards the Wisconsin border. They seem to have a really receptive venue there that is usable and film friendly, apparently, which that's great for me, So I would probably go out and shoot for like a week, shooting every day, 7 days in a row, that kind of thing. I picture this probably being a 10 or 12 day shoot to get this one done. But 7 of those days at least will be out in that area, probably, if that location does indeed work out. It's a giant building. My question was always, hey, let's backtrack a minute, right? So we talked about Fear the Crimson Mask, all right? Yeah, it's a slasher picture, but it is one part, in my mind, it is one part wrestling picture, one part gore, horror, slasher picture, one part, action picture, and then another part like Reformed Schoolgirls. So, when I'm scouting this location, fast forward to what we were talking about, it's like, well, does it have like group showers, like gym showers or something like that? Because I have a shower scene where there's a fight scene and stuff like that happens. So, like I said, it's one part Reformed Schoolgirls probably. So, I need those kinds of things. And if it was all in one spot, in one location where I could shoot numerous different scenes, that would be very attractive for me to want to go and film there, kind of thing. That to me is worth shooting on location. If I can have all those access to different scenes, I can get done all in the same building, kind of thing. So, and we did that. We were fortunate enough to do that on a film I did, my last film, Pact of Vengeance, starring the late Leo Fong there. We filmed at a building in downtown Erie where numerous locations numerous scenes were made up of that giant high-rise, like 5-story building. And I've used it a couple times in various films, but Pact of Vengeance, we filmed there a lot, kind of thing, because each room could be so different in terms of look. It could make up several different things. So This building, for this wrestling picture, looks promising so far. I don't want to get my hopes up too much, but it's early. But it looks like, yeah, I would go to the Wisconsin, Michigan border area to film a lot of this one. So, in terms of casting and stuff like that, John Micklethor, has expressed wanting to be involved. That would be great. He's going back on tour next year in the U.S. For Thor, the band. I could see John Micklethor. For those that don't know, he's the lead in Rock and Roll Nightmare and Zombie Nightmare. So, a great dude. I know he wants to be involved, so I think we can make that happen and work around his tour and stuff like that and get that in. So I will meet with Diamante from AEW Wrestling. Also was in my film Pact of Vengeance. Diamante, I think, would fit really well in this kind of picture as like a tough girl wrestler kind of thing. So it's not much of a stretch for her. So I'll see her in a couple weeks as AEW Wrestling is coming right to my backyard, right to Erie, Pennsylvania. For one of their shows. I don't know if it's Rampage or what they call it, one of their side programs there. But yeah, so we'll talk about that. Other roles are pretty much, open at this point kind of thing. As we're writing the script, we're inserting more and more characters we find, you know what I mean? So there'll be some comedy bits in it, of course, maybe like The Office, where people are testing out their gimmicks for the professional wrestling thing. So that might be a funny scene or two. It's not going to go for all-out horror comedy kind of thing, but it will be very much, like I said, wrestling picture, gore, horror picture, action picture, reformed schoolgirls picture. So, yeah, I think it'll be a good time. Some other questions were certain individuals that might be in the Wisconsin area going to be in the picture. I don't know. That's not why I'm going there to film it. These guys came to me and said, hey, we have a facility that, you could probably use fairly cheaply. They seem film receptive and stuff. And I said, okay, tell me about it. It just so happens to be in Wisconsin. So you never know who would show up. But my door's always open. My email's always open. You know what I'm saying? So contact me and we'll see what happens there. But yeah, not to delve too much into the story, but because people are like, oh, it's a wrestling horror slasher thing. Kane has had this gimmick for 30 years or whatever it was, right? So yeah, I get that part right. And it's not like we haven't seen pictures like WrestleManiac or, those kinds of things out there. So it's not really like that. This one has to do with somebody that would have had like a botched match or, an up-and-coming wrestler has a botched match happen, derails his maybe going to the big time. And then he's going to take it out on a new crop of, wrestlers trying to just start out and make it like a wrestling like training facility kind of thing. So that's where that is. And then we have our slasher setup right there. So, but that's kind of it in a nutshell. And like I said, 7 days filmed out there. I'd say another weekend maybe would probably film in like the Erie area kind of thing, where I'm at. So, a few scenes there, and I think we'd have a movie. So, in terms of fundraising, it's going to be, the usual suspects kind of thing about where I go, and I should put suspects singular because I really just use Indiegogo anymore. It'll be like Pact was. It'll be like an all or nothing fundraising campaign. We reach our goal, off we go. We're going to shoot a movie. We don't reach our goal. Everybody goes their separate ways and goes on vacation, goes on tour, goes to the beach, goes, whatever. So, so that's how that'll work. Fundraising, I would plan on starting for this picture probably in like March and do March, April, and May is the 3 months, the 90-day window of Indiegogo, like fundraising. And it would be, similar perks, posters, those kinds of things. The poster that I would have posted earlier in this show, that's just a promo poster. I mean, obviously, John Micklethor's name would go above the title, and Diamante if Priscilla gets involved with it, and who knows, who else might pop up there, kind of thing. So, so we'll tighten up the poster and stuff like that, before we would launch that Indiegogo and things like that. So, but yeah, it would be March, April, May, probably shooting, I would imagine. Into the early summertime then, with June, July, something like that. So that would be the plan if all goes right then. So in the next 2 months or so, as the script is being written, I'll also be, trying to fill out certain roles that I know are there. Like I said, we're developing more and more characters as we as we write it. But right now, I know there's at least 5, 6 that are definitely in there, kind of thing. So, I'll get those casted or, talk to some people. And most of the time, people are like, well, then, how do you do that? Or just, put yourself out there, Twitter, Facebook, make announcements. Those people talk. They talk to friends who talk to friends who talk to friends. And then next thing you know, you get an inbox of 325 messages about your movie. So, and I appreciate that. I mean, it sounds like I'm complaining maybe, right? But I'm not. Not at all. Not at all. So, I do think that this would be a chance for me to do something a little different even kind of thing. And it's piqued my interest to get back into it. I know after Pact, I took a little break, but I feel ready to get back into things. Pact was exhausting on a lot of different levels, as I mentioned. Physically, I was not super well shooting it, suffering from a pinched nerve in my neck, which is horrible, which would shut down my arm at times, just incredibly painful. So that wasn't fun. Some things in post and stuff, all that kind of stuff compounded, and it just wasn't. It was a time where I needed a break after that one. But I'm ready to get back at it. But director of photography, maybe special effects artist, all that kind of stuff is out there now that I'm talking to people I'm excited about, bringing them aboard and seeing what happens, kind of thing. Because there's a big difference between having a plan and seeing what happens. And we're going to have a plan. So that's from a Gruber, people. But anyways. But that's kind of Fear the Crimson Mask. How did it come about? Actually, an actor in many of my films, known as Man in Skull Forest, for those that have seen Skull Forest, he came up with just a tiny concept, I guess. Not even a real treatment, just kind of ideas, a few ideas, a paragraph full of ideas, I guess. And brought it to me and said, hey, what about this kind of slasher wrestling thing? And I thought about it. I thought, this sounds kind of fun. So he gave those ideas to me. I put out a thing on Twitter, and for the people that I might not have responded to on Twitter, because I had hundreds of messages, and again, not complaining, but usually I try to get to everybody. This time, I doubt I did. I doubt I got back to everyone. So, but from putting out a Twitter, post that's saying, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. Does somebody want to, jump on this and write it? Because I'm not sure I want to write it. I might adjust some things or whatever, but I don't want to write the whole thing. Now I'm looking at it and think, I probably could. But I'm going to let this person that came aboard write it, and we kind of worked on the outline together for the most part. And the outline just got done literally a couple days ago. So we'll jump on the script, and that'll be the next couple months as I talk to people and try to get it casted, like I said. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at in the timeline of things. Up through the end of the year, work on the script, even into January probably. By January, February, lock down our cast of who's super interested, and maybe not so much the extras and stuff, because that'll come depending on where we're at, kind of thing, and where we're filming. But like I said, it's likely to be on the border of Wisconsin and Upper Michigan there. But fundraising, as I mentioned, March, April, May. Then we figure out, hey, what dates can we get this building for a week in a row and start shooting, kind of thing. So those that are 80s horror type fans, I don't think you'll be disappointed. It will be gore, TNA, fast pacing, that kind of thing. So, but yeah, this one I'm pleasantly surprised of the people that have found me. You know what I mean? Here's my demo reel. Here's this. Here's that. Look at this. Go look at my YouTube. My demo reel on YouTube or something like that. And yeah, it's been good. And I'll be working like usual. Get some new people, new blood. See what happens with this thing. And like I said, I'll keep everybody up to date. Hopefully you're following along on Patreon, like I said, or the YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/KillerWolfFilms. I'm pretty, fast to react and interact with people on Twitter there. So, but yeah, Fear the Crimson Mask. I think I'm back, right? As John Wick would say. People keep asking, Len, are you back? And I'm thinking I'm back. So let's see what happens with this one and go forward. So Fear the Crimson Mask is getting started. Again, script writing phase right now. Stick around, and I'm sure there'll be more videos as we go along the process here. So we'll see you soon, everybody.